Speaking of coming in hot, I got a lot of thoughts about this game.
Yeah, Rec. You love one side as one of your best bets.
I don't know if you noticed on the graphic, but I purposely made Kenny Pickett a little smaller.
I was about to say this before we started the show. I was like, "Hey, Rec, I think this was on purpose."
It was totally on purpose. I love it. There he is, just little. I don't even know. Kenny's probably not playing. Kenny's full of shit. He said he was playing, but he's not playing. He's
Baby not playing Kenny Pickett and the Steelers hosting.
Kenny's not even. Kenny's not playing this week. Would you like to make a wager on that, Rec? Whether he plays or not?
I think he does. I just don't know how confident I am to wager it.
But you just said you think he does play.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't want to wager it.
Yeah.
Most bets, if you think you're getting 52% odds on, it's a pretty solid bet. Do you think you're getting higher than that?
Oh, what the hell happened there?
Whoa!
How did
it worked out.
Justin Fields. Justin Fields with a nice take there for a first down.
I mean, nice after the high snap. Did a little
salvaged it a little bit.
Tip drill to himself. And if you're a D tackle of Washington, you feel disgusted right now.
Yeah.
Justin Fields runs like a tumbleweed into a semi truck.
Okay. So Sky, I'll go ahead and make the wager.
You want to make the wager?
Do you have some insiders info?
To play
$1 million. Oh, by the way, that's Herbert. Herbert's done.
Yeah.
He just tried to run and he fell over there. He's done. That's it for him tonight.
Yeah.
Herbert kind of just slowly walking to the sidelines here, and he's not feeling great. So there you go. We'll keep you updated on this game, but
let's dive into this one.
So Ravens at the Steelers. Obviously, Kenny Pickett, we're debating whether or not he's going to be playing or not. However, the spread on this one, Baltimore -4.5 in Pittsburgh. Total over/under set 38, which is a crazy low total. Big play here by Chicago. Big play here by Chicago.
DJ Moore
he's on. Did they say he stepped out of bounds?
They said he did.
I guess so.
He's not thrilled about it. It doesn't matter that he's not thrilled about it because it's going to stop there. It's not like it's reviewable, but it didn't look like he stepped out of bounds to me.
I was watching and I didn't.
Maybe right there.
I don't think so.
I don't think he stepped out.
I don't think so.
I see a spot where he might have, but again.
Well, we're gonna get a better angle here. We're gonna get a better angle here.
I don't know how that ball got through.
Of course, there's.
Okay, nope. There's no better angle. Everyone's blocking the view.
He did not step out of bounds there.
This is why we not. This is why we'd never do our previews on Thursday nights.
We're on game one here.
We're going to be on game one for an hour.
So, Steelers and Ratbirds.
Over/under total set at 38, which is super low score.
Embarrassing.
That's a low score. Baltimore money line -192. Rec. Whether or not Kenny Pickett plays, you think the Steelers have a really good chance to cover this 4.5?
Yeah, good. Mike Tomlin does a lot of things wrong, but there's one thing he always does. He always makes sure to prepare for the Ravens. To give me 4.5 at home in a low scoring game, I don't see why you wouldn't take it with Kenny Pickett or not. But it doesn't matter how bad either team is or how good either team is. This is going to be tight, sloppy AFC North football.
I don't have as strong of an opinion as you, but I agree. If I was to take a side in this one, I'd take Steelers in the points.
Agreed.
I mean, it doesn't even matter if Kenny Pickett's playing. The offense is just dog shit regardless for Pittsburgh. But they kind of own Baltimore. That's just kind of what
they Lamar, mainly Lamar,
and disrespectful to I mean, when has the home team in this series been a 4.5 point dog in the last like decade?
I know.
It hasn't happened. So I agree. I think if you bet this, you gotta bet Steelers, but I
Yes.
can't put it in my locks of the week because like the Steelers offense has looked so epically bad, Chris. Like so
Yeah,
bad.
the Steelers should improve because they're trying this new thing that no one's ever heard of before. They're going to practice with their pads on.
Which is
I
also
wish that was a joke.
which is also though like bullshit. Like these guys have played their whole lives football. They don't. The fact that they didn't practice in pads doesn't mean they don't know how to be physical on a Sunday. It's just a cop out. It's a cop out.
Yeah, and for me,
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go Steelers plus 4.5 in this one if I was picking this game. I'm not when it comes to winning the game. I don't even want to. I don't even know. I haven't even made my picks in my pick 'em yet. I missed out on this one tonight, by the way, which I would have probably gotten wrong anyway.
I actually did too, Chris, but I probably would have got wrong as well.
Yeah.
I would have gone Washington.
So the Ravens just haven't. I mean, they're 3-1 start. They've played C.J. Stroud and they've played a less than 100% Joe Burrow. They've taken on backup quarterbacks in each of their in their last couple games. So it's like they're what are the Ravens really right now? The Steelers are 5-1 straight up against the Ravens over the last 3 years, despite only being favored twice. So I mean, overall, the Steelers are in the best spot here to keep this one probably closer than it probably should be. I mean, who knows if Mitchell Trubisky comes in, maybe he can, make some things happen. But we know Kenny Pickett's dealing with that bone bruise. Whether or not he plays or not, we'll see going into that resting through the bye week, whatever. So I don't know. I think all three of us agree that if we were going to lean one way, it's got to be on Pittsburgh. I think that's where you have to lean.
Got to cheer for the little guy here.
Yeah, I was even going to say last year Mitch Trubisky played against the Ravens. I think the Ravens won by 4 despite Mitch throwing 3 picks.
I mean,
so either way,
even when the offenses are better than what they've looked like on both sides, like I don't think Baltimore's offense is just humming at this point. But like even when they do look good on both sides, like when they play each other, it feels like it's like constantly a 2017 game. That's like every time it's like by default, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, it's going to be a 2017 ugly, not ugly, but like grinded out, smash mouth, like not a back and forth high scoring affair. Oof, DJ Moore had another touchdown.
Also, just one more thing. Whether you think Tomlin was lying and telling the truth about the whole physicality thing, you gotta admit he's just being soft. Either he's right and he can't adjust to the slightest problem, or he's lying and he can't take accountability. He is soft and he is not a leader.
I understand Pittsburgh fans wanting to move on. Like when you had a coach in that long and like hasn't been great the last
field goal
4 or 5 years.
Yep, 30-14, still a 2-possession game.
But be careful what you wish for, because that's how Philly fans felt about Andy Reid. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, it's not like, I'm at the point where it's like there's definitely guys I take Mike Tomlin over. I also think there's guys out there that would be better than Tomlin. Like I'd still take like Ben Johnson or the Texans offensive coordinator Ben Slowick or Rich Bisaccia. I mean, if you told me that they're going to be the head coach for the Steelers next year, I'd be stoked.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Although Tomlin won't be fired because
not. I mean, he's certainly not
mid-season,
but.
And even then, he's still going to be the coach next year because this team's too scared to fire coaches. Exhibit A, Matt Canada.
I mean, a lot of people hold the Steelers in high regard because of the tenure of their great coaching that they've had throughout with Cowher, Tomlin, going back to everyone prior to that. Like you guys have had like 4 coaches in the last like 40 years.
Yeah. Yeah, like again, I know it's good, but like as
The
someone
Broncos
trying
have
to
had
coach
4
gets
coaches in
stale,
the last
4 years.
4
5
years.
years.
5 years.
Like,
we've been a
It's just
mess. Man, Canada's better than the
it's just
Steelers.
honest,
To be. Oh my
it's just
goodness.
Mike Tomlin. He was a great coach. He deserves to spawn the Hall of Fame. He's just gone stale. Like maybe he can succeed somewhere else, but we need a change of scenery. We need a new voice.
Well, we'll see what ends up happening. But there's Magic in the stands, by the way. Magic Johnson, new ownership group,
owner of the Washington football team.
Taking in a game on Thursday Night Football.
I want to call him their original name. I really do.
Sam Howell going down.
Oh, Sam.
How is he not down?
Like both.
I mean,
teams.
a lot of respect for him running there, but like he's literally running into defensive linemen. Like, just stay back there and look to another read or two. You don't have
He's
to
running
run
into
forward.
his
Like,
own offensive lineman.
It's such an internal clock of like 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I got to run forward. When if he just looked around, he'd see no one's around him. And that one,
Is this dude Big Ben?
that was a good throw, but like on that one, that was one he could have stepped up on, and he didn't. This might be, what's the flag? Is this roughing the passer? I think either way, I think this is on the defense, whether it's in the secondary or
Let's see.
roughing.
Yep, illegal contact.
Yeah.
At least decline first down.
Cuban in the chat. Magic just sticks his portfolio in everything, doesn't he? Yep.
And sometimes it works out well, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Just saying. Cardinals and Bengals here. Cardinals hosting the Bengals. Bengals -3. Total set at 44 with the Bengals, who have absolutely they're hitting the panic button if they don't get a dub against Arizona right now. They are 1-3 to start this season, starting out slow like they typically do, but this feels different, Scotty. We talked about this on Sunday. It feels different, and I just don't think if they lose this game, I don't know if they are going to be able to dig themselves out of this hole. And they got some big contracts coming down the line. This is as close to a must-win game for Cincinnati as you could probably imagine. And it's only the week 5 in the NFL. But, Scotty, if I did have a lean in this one, if I had a pick in this one, I would most likely lean Cincinnati -3. I know Josh Dobbs and the Arizona Cardinals have been playing way better than advertised and expected, but I just think that there's a way that Cincinnati comes out of this one. If I had a lean, it would probably be Cincinnati -3.
This isn't one of my picks of the week, but it is, Chris. And I am totally on the opposite side of me.
Really?
If you watch these teams play, like a blind watch of these two teams play all season thus far, and then you decided that the Bengals should be favored by 3 in Arizona, no chance. No chance. I'm done thinking that this Bengals team is going to figure things out and turn it around. I'm kind of done with it. I think Arizona's getting disrespected. I think Arizona was competing for a long time against San Fran. Like, Arizona is honestly better than anyone thought they would be, and including myself. But they've absolutely played better football this year than Cincinnati. You're at home, you get +3. I think the Arizona Cardinals win this one outright. I think they win this game. I think the Bengals go into like a sad state of depression. I don't know if you eventually get to a point, if you're the Bengals, of like sitting Joe Burrow, but and then hoping for like a high draft pick, maybe, just because you're desperate. But there's something categorically wrong with the Bengals, and until I see them turn it around, I can't bet them. I can't bet them. I'm betting the other side.
Well, the only reason why I didn't bet this particular matchup was just because I just don't know what to expect. We've said the Bengals are going to bounce back last week and maybe the week before. Oh, it's all right. They'll bounce back. don't worry. This is the week. This is the week. And we just keep waiting and waiting, and they just still look terrible. By the way, both these teams not very good when it comes to penalties.
Oh. Logan Thomas.
That was close.
Logan Thomas hates his team. I mean, he's had a nice game tonight with a lot of underneath catches, but that was right in his hands. I never thought I'd see a long pass over the top to Logan Thomas, but that was right in his hands. Great throw. You got to come down with that. You got to come down with
Missed
that.
an opportunity there. Bengals ranked 6th in penalties per game, while Arizona tied for last with 8.5. So there's going to be some penalties in this one, I think. It's going to be kind of a weird, sloppy game. I think there's going to be a lot of weird flags and things, but I think that overall, I mean,
That was an easy first down.
It was.
I think
They
with
brought
Joe
a blitz,
Burrow,
he got it out quick.
I think Joe Burrow back against the wall. He's saying his calf is feeling better. What he says and what's in reality, I don't know, matches up. Maybe we'll see. But
They lost.
It's a buy low.
There's no chance his calf feels better. His calf feels at the same at best. The Bears have a D tackle running on from the sideline as the snap. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Some heavy guys just chugging in as the snaps, like zero factor on the play. But Howell with the howitzer, setting up a 1st and goal from the 3 here, down 16. So if they get it in here, obviously that's a 2-point scenario to cut it to 8, and maybe we have a finish here with 11 minutes to go.
All right, Howell running right, looking right, throw, and they love Logan Thomas right now. They're just like,
what's not to love? He drop, fumble, like I mean, get that guy the ball.
They're targeting him left and right. Cuban, who could have guessed a month ago Bengals would have a must-win game Week 5 against the Cardinals?
And that
was just a great play by the defender. That wasn't Logan's fault. That was
that was definitely not Logan's fault. No, I
2nd and goal, 10:58 here in the 4th, 30-14. Washington trying to close the gap here. Let's see what they do here on 2nd and goal.
That was it.
And missed opportunity behind him a little bit.
That was a bad throw.
Behind the receiver, incomplete, brings up 3rd and goal. Hal should just run. Hal should just run into the line and just ping pong around, pinball around until he gets into the end zone.
De'Ami dropped a touchdown earlier in the game, by the way, but that was not De'Ami's fault. That was a very poor throw.
All right, 3rd and goal.
If the Bengals lose this game, they're in full panic mode.
Oh, they're done.
If the Bengals lose this game, they're wide open touchdown.
Curtis Samuel.
And they're going to go for two. Obviously.
More importantly, is the 2-point conversion here.
Gosh,
Bears are done.
Can you imagine?
Bears are done.
I was scrolling TikTok and Twitter last week when the Bears melted away to the Broncos, and I was just like, man, Bears fans have been through it. And if they lose this game.
But Chris, if they can get the 1st and 2nd overall pick in the draft, everything will be okay.
Oh my goodness. Bears
fans should not want to win this game. I understand as a fan wanting to like win a football game and having that joy and excitement, but like the reality is long term
pinball.
You should not.
Oh!
Ping pong, ping pong.
Oh, no, what did he do? No!
Again, Sam, you can't tuck it there.
He just throws it straight into the air. He throws it straight up. Oh, Sam.
I like
10-point game.
I actually like Sam
That's a Carson Wentz right there.
Like his throwing ability, if you just rank Sam Howell with throwing ability, I think he's pretty solid. His pocket awareness is dog shit.
Yeah.
It's shit.
He pulled his best Carson Wentz, tossing it up and just letting it go into the ether. All right, so Cincinnati Bengals, Arizona Cardinals coming up here. this Sunday. That'll be an interesting one just for the fact that whether or not the Bengals can do anything here.
Dobbs might be the better quarterback there.
I'm not going to lie. I'm contemplating picking him up in fantasy.
Boy.
Oh my goodness. He could put up some fantasy points, man. If you look out, pick him up before I do. Just saying. Cowboys and 49ers.
Game
this is the game
of the week. One of the best games
week.
you're going to have all season.
Correct. Cowboys visiting San Francisco. San Francisco at home, 3.5-point favorites. Total set at 45. This will be on Sunday Night Football, ladies and gentlemen, for our fan face-off. We'll have, I believe Monder said he was interested in coming back, and then we might have another San Francisco fan. But if you know anybody else that's interested, it's always nice to have backups in case things happen. So we will be watching this one live. We'll be doing bingo this Sunday night on the ActionLab here on Twitch. So make sure you tune in. But Cowboys at the 49ers. Scotty, this is one of your best bets of the week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's so obvious. It's so obvious what the right side is here, Chris. Chris, I love my bets this week. I will not, like, there's so many underdogs I like this week. It's absurd. And I'm taking the underdog here. Listen, I know the Niners are 4-0. They look, Christian McCaffrey's getting, like, MVP hype. Brock Purdy's the man, all of these things. But I go back to actually the playoff game last year. Brock Purdy played phenomenal once he took over last year. The game he struggled in. And listen, Tony Pollard got hurt early on in this one. I think that hurt the Dallas offense a lot. They didn't have some pieces. Dak didn't play well. San Fran won that game 19-12 heading into the NFC Championship game. Brock Purdy, 214 yards on 19 of 29. They couldn't get the run game going. Like, literally, George Kittle was the only guy that contributed in that game at all. You give me 3.5 points with a Dallas defense that I know is missing stuff on Diggs, but, like, has played probably better. Sorry, not Stephon. Trayvon Diggs. Probably played better this year in an offense that's been a little more consistent. Still struggling to score in the red zone, but outside of that, they move the ball left and right. I think Dallas wins this game, Chris, outright. But give me way more comfortably. Give me the 3.5 with Dallas. This is going to be a low scoring, grinded out game. This is not going to be a high scoring affair where Brock Purdy just pours it on around the field. He's going to struggle in this one. He's going to face some pressure that he's not used to, and we're gonna see that Brock Purdy is in fact Brock Purdy in this one.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be how much pressure they can get on Brock Purdy. I think that the running backs for especially Christian McCaffrey are going to be key in this matchup and how the 49ers can attack the defense here, because I think the Dallas Cowboys over the course of the season have been relying a lot on their pass defense, try to like slow things down a little bit for the other team and then end up putting up some points on the other side. But I just think that overall San Francisco, there's a lot of hype and a lot of money coming in publicly on San Francisco, which scares me a little bit on whether or not I want to put any money on this game. I don't want to touch either side of it. I'm just excited for. If
all the money's coming on San Fran, join me, Chris. Join me.
I should. I'm
on the right side. I'm on the right side.
Yeah. And I am. A lot. See, and that's the thing. If I had a lean in this one, you have two good teams. You have an offense. You have really good talented players on both sides. I would lean getting points in a close, grindy matchup like you mentioned. I mean, if you looked at the over-under again, it's not going to be, I think it's going to be, if I'm taking the total, I'm taking the under in this one if I had a pick. But I just think that
both teams haven't had a tough schedule this far, but one's plus 83, one's plus 67. 83 is in fact the Cowboys. I just think it's pretty obvious. Third down here.
We're going to have a fun time Sunday night.
Throw to the sideline incomplete.
4th and 2.
The Bears are going to have to punt. 9:20 on the clock, 10-point game. This one's still definitely in the balance, Chris. Like there's I mean, absolutely a chance that Washington can come back and win this one.
Yeah.
It would be the second straight week the Chicago Bears would melt away a lead of what they had in the fourth quarter to lose a game. So we'll see what happens here with Washington's next drive. Gutswiller, Cowboys have to be the most boring offensive team to watch.
I don't think you've watched a lot of football teams if you think the Cowboys are the most boring team.
I mean, to be fair, the Cowboys haven't had to do anything on offense. What happens? You're talking about Brock Purdy. What happens if Dak has to win this game and his defense can't carry?
Dak has not shown up great in big moments and big games, but Dak is worlds better than Brock Purdy. No doubt in my mind. I mean, the Cowboys have put up 124 points thus far, which is, I believe, fourth in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because there's all of that, but like,
and they don't score in the red zone.
Straight from their I mean, how many of those points came straight from the defense? Like a defensive touchdown or a turnover right in the
maybe
right.
Maybe at most 20 to 30 points of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. They had 2 touchdowns against the Giants, I think, and at least 2 touchdowns last week against the Patriots.
No.
You okay?
I'm fine. They definitely had some defensive scores against the Giants, and I mean, listen, we'll see. I'm just feeling very. Cowboys have 19 points a game on D. There's 0% chance that's true. Actually, there's 130,000% chance that's false.
19 point. Sorry, fantasy. He says fantasy.
Yeah, but but like against the Giants, they had like 40 points.
Yeah.
And how many did they have against the Patriots?
The Giants been giving up everything.
They had a lot last week too, for sure.
Did I just see what's our next Thursday night football? Is it Broncos?
It's
Broncos Chiefs. Broncos Chiefs.
Yeah. Oh God.
Ooh. Yeah. Just saying.
A week.
So this game here, Texans and Falcons. Texans are 1.5-point favorites in Atlanta, shockingly.
Yeah. So let's dive into this one. Texans visiting Atlanta. Yeah, 1.5-point total set at 41.5. I believe, Scotty, this is another game that you have one of your best bets.
Yeah. This actually seems square to me, so I'm actually nervous about it, but like the Texans are certainly the better team here. CJ Stroud is balling. He's
worlds better than Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ridder embarrassed himself. Not only that, but then Atlanta has to come back from London, play on Sunday after the long road back after embarrassing yourself in London with an awful performance. These Falcons, Chris, we both picked the Falcons to win the NFC South, and partially because I thought Desmond Ridder would be an upgrade over Marcus Mariota. He's not.
No.
He is. He might as well be Marcus Mariota. Actually, he might be worse because he makes worse choices. So, I don't understand this line fully. I think I got it at 2 instead of 1.5. But the Texans have been playing phenomenal offensive football. Their defense has a lot to be desired, but like CJ Stroud's like top 5 in the league in passing.
CJ Stroud's been incredible.
He's been balling, which has surprised me, surprised probably everybody, but like credit to him. This team now, let's not get ahead of themselves. Like I literally saw a tweet from like a Texans fan being like, who's clearly better than the Texans? And they only listed like 5 teams. And I'm like, chill out. All right. Like, I don't know if you're like the number 6 team in the league, but against an Atlanta team that's kind of shit right now. I think Atlanta's like 4-11 against the spread in their last 15. but it seems like every time I bet against or for Atlanta, I lose every time. So I'll probably lose this one. You guys should probably just take Atlanta. Actually, now that I
Just
think
take
about
the other side. Yeah.
I literally, anytime I bet for or against Atlanta, I
I'm done.
always lose.
I'm done betting Atlanta. I've bet Atlanta
Always
a couple
lose.
times, and I'm
betting against Atlanta though.
anything with involving
I
Atlanta.
know,
It's just it doesn't matter. Like I could see I saw stats on both sides this week. This is kind of similar to what I said last week about another game that I saw. But it was just like I see stats saying one thing on Atlanta's side. I see stats saying something on Houston's side. And I'm just like, I'm just to stay away from it. Like Desmond Ridder, he's 4-0 at home. 4 in his last home starts. And he's been playing well at home. But like CJ Stroud has been a freaking revelation. He's been so good. And I'm like, I don't want to count Houston out by any means either. So I look at both of these teams. I don't love either of them in the grand scheme of things, but like this is just a game that I just don't have a feel on. I'm leaving it alone. And
Logan Thomas doing everything to get the first down.
Job to get
over
the first
people.
down.
7:05 left
3rd and long.
in the fourth.
Oh, there's an injured bear.
Yeah, he kind of fell to the ground as if there was a heart attack out there.
Logan Thomas putting his body on the line, going horizontal, just flying.
Almost fumbled again, but said no.
Anyways, so all right, there's the Atlanta Texans. Let's dive into Jaguars and Bills, Scotty. This is
now with less Toy Story.
Running through all my picks of the week.
All your picks of the week, back to back to back to back. We have Buffalo and Jacksonville over the pond. Guys, by the way, we're getting into our fantasy focus next. Make sure you guys are setting your lineups, doing your pick'ems, doing all your picks of the week, everything before these games start. If you want to pick these games, especially this over the pond Jacksonville Buffalo game, it's going to be starting, I think, around what time do these games start? Mountain time. I think it's 7:30
Mountain time.
7:30ish. So make sure you update your lineups, everything accordingly. But we have two best bets going head to head. Hey, P3, what's going on?
If you ask Rick Astley for a DVD of the movie Up,
Oh
he will
yeah,
not give it to
we
you
had this
because he
last
is
time.
never gonna give you up. However, by not giving you up, even though you asked for it, he is letting you down.
Sure.
Yep. Hey.
The life of Rick Astley. You know?
There it is. There it is. This will be an interesting game. Now, the Jags and the Bills both. I mean, the Bills have looked really good. The Jags have not looked so great of late, which is, again, probably one of the reasons why maybe a lot of people, i.e. Scotty, is buying.
No, everyone's betting Buffalo, Chris.
A lot of people are betting Buffalo. So Jags 2-2 coming into this game. Buffalo Bills 3-1. Scotty, we're going head to head on this one, and you have
You start us off, Chris. You go.
You want me to start this one off? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I have the Bills minus 5.5 in this one. They've been one of the more dominant teams in the NFL as of late, and they had a really impressive win against a Miami Dolphins team with a pretty potent offense that they were able to slow down a little bit. But still, the one thing about this is the caveat that they're traveling across over to London, which this is the first year that we'll have the Jacksonville Jaguars staying over there. So I think that is going to be a nice little advantage for them in the grand scheme of things. But when you look at these two teams, I think that, we came into this season thinking that the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to be the team that was promised with the prince that was promised, Scotty. And Trevor Lawrence has not necessarily looked like the prince that was promised. And neither is this Jacksonville Jaguars team. They've looked kind of average at best through their first 4 weeks. And last week I questioned whether or not this is a team that I think is good enough to make a big run at the end of the season. And I kind of made an early gut call that says this team doesn't pass the eyeball test. Bills are first in interception rate and sack rate. So this could be another performance for Jacksonville like the KC game, while the Bills offense looks to, slow down this Jacksonville offense, who hasn't really hasn't shined as much as I would have liked. So I have the Buffalo minus 5.5 in this one as one of my best bets. I think this should probably be around 7 based off of that. I'm not taking it at 7 because I'm getting it at a great deal at 5.5. But I
don't even know if you even have the right side to win the game, Chris.
I mean, here's the thing. I just don't. If you look at this team on paper, or just in general, the eyeball test, Buffalo Bills should be in a good spot to win this game by at least a touchdown.
Chris, none of the roster, nothing about what Buffalo has done recently. First of all, huge Buffalo game last week. Like, huge, important, all-in Buffalo game last week against Miami. They come in, they dominate, they play great. Buffalo's played fantastic since their week 1 kind of choke job against the Jets. They've played the best football in all the NFL since week 1. It doesn't matter, Chris. And yeah, you're right. Jacksonville's looked mediocre at best. Mediocre. They get to just chill out in London. Buffalo, after having a huge, important division matchup, now travels to London.
What a throw!
Doesn't.
Okay.
Scary,
That was
scary.
a dive.
Big throw, left hand side. Sam Howell.
Oh, after
That was
you
a
thought
great throw.
you thought they may have got a lucky pass interference, the play before deep down the field to Terry McLaurin.
That's a good pass.
But that's a great throw. That's a great throw.
Perfect.
What did I tell you? I said his throwing ability, I love. His pocket presence is garbage.
So first and 10, 6 minutes, by the way.
I love Jacksonville here. No one's betting Jacksonville. Why throw that out of bounds? Love Jacksonville here. Think it's a great spot. It's about taking spots of different opportunities within the season. Listen, Buffalo clearly has been the better team this year. Doesn't matter. Have to travel across the pond. You get a rested Jacksonville team coming off a win last week in London, although didn't play spectacular, but still a win nonetheless. I think Buffalo lays an egg here. I don't think they come out with their best by any stretch of the imagination. I think Jacksonville has a very good chance to win this game, but certainly cover the 5.5.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the key. Here's the key to this game, honestly, is going to be the running game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. If ETN and company can get something going, because Buffalo's defense hasn't been very good against the run. So they if they're going to take advantage of that, they need to, because I mean the Jags run game hasn't necessarily been as over the last couple games super special, but I think they do have the potential to be good in this one. I think that there's going to be some what's happening in this game. Third down, 5:38.
Robinson should not have caught this ball at all if he's going to fall
And
over.
there's another injured bear.
He loses.
That one looks like a hit.
He probably loses 5 yards through catching this pass rather than just
conspiracy theory. These Bears are dropping like flies at the most pivotal point of this game.
They're tired. They're tired. They've been out there this whole half. They're tired.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson just
great catch by Robinson, but he shouldn't have caught
it. It's thrown way behind him.
Just don't catch it. Just don't catch it.
But oh no, our weakness, the run game. Really, the chip.
Riley's not concerned with the run game. I just think we're gonna get a flat Buffalo team. I feel like Buffalo is one of those teams that like can blaze worlds, but then also any given week can come out, as we saw week 1, kind of like flat and stupid turnovers. Josh Allen can be prone at times. I think Josh Allen's played great, phenomenal, but like week 1, Josh Allen turned the ball over 4 times. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. I just don't think this is a good spot with the fact that Jacksonville is able to stay out there and Buffalo has to travel out there after a huge division matchup last week against Miami. I think this is the spot where you just I love Jacksonville in this spot so much.
Well,
Chris.
we'll find out what happens here coming up this weekend, and we'll know early on in the day. We'll learn early on. So make sure, again, your lineups are set. By the way, 3rd and 15 here for the Washington Commanders. 5:28 left in the 4th.
I mean, I hope they at least throw to the sticks here.
Are they they're blitzing, and oh my god!
Oh,
that's why
he
you don't
drops
keep
it.
Gibson the ball.
I mean,
There's a
Gibson
blitz.
can't.
Go to your first
yeah,
read.
well,
He wasn't
but
going to
that
get
wasn't-
much, but I
That
mean,
wasn't going to pick up a first down. You're down 10. You're going to kick 3 anyway. So
Honestly, Howe should have seen the blitz coming and just gotten his first read. Okay, or it's just like okay, not the first read. Like he should have gone. Okay, blitz coming. Let me throw to Terry. He's going to be 1-on-1.
maybe, but maybe that wasn't the way he was coached up by the great Eric Bieniemy. We don't know. We don't.
And he
know.
misses.
wow.
That you can't have.
Unbelievable.
That you can't have. Down 10.
Ron Rivera's like,
That changed things. I said this was going to turn into a 1-possession game after a blowout at half. And it should be a 1-possession game, Chris. But the kicker said,
not today.
That wasn't even a bad decision over the field. That was the right decision.
Wow. So there it is. 10-point game still. A lot of time. We'll see what a lot of time.
I mean, they got to score 2 touchdowns. I don't feel great about it. Well, a touchdown, a field goal, so, but like.
Yeah, but still, with 5 minutes to go and the Bears with the ball, yeah.
I mean, the Bears are going to be 3 now. I think we know that.
Yeah.
The Bears are panicking right now. They don't know what to do on offense.
Somehow that gained a good amount of yards.
Yeah. So
I hate that you're ahead of me so very much.
minimum juice was up in the game. It's
driving me
field
nuts.
time.
Thursday Night Football.
All right, let's dive into the Chiefs and the Vikings. The Vikings, obviously the kings of the close games, and they will try to keep it close against the Kansas City Chiefs, who have played in a couple interesting games, most notably this last Sunday Night Football game with the Jets.
You start us off.
Agent Kami.
Right, I got to do a code yellow.
Code yellow. Spam it in the chat for Scotty. What's up, D. Cole? How we doing? Just got out of class, and the Bears are winning. What the hell? The Bears were up.
Worse earlier, Jake Cola.
The Bears were up by what? What was the highest?
24. It was 27-3 at halftime.
Yeah, 27-3 at half. So it was not even close. And the Washington Commanders are trying to pull the Broncos and come back and win this one late. But they missed a field goal just now, so that doesn't help their chances. Kansas City here, 3.5-point favorites. Total set at 52.5. And I was able to get this as one of my best bets of the week. The Vikings are losing a lot of the games they lost last year. Now they're playing in a lot of close games, and I'm a little bit worried about that. However, I think this matchup lends itself a lot. I liked Kansas City actually at -4 in this one, but the Kansas City Chiefs, after kind of laying an egg and playing a little subpar against the Jets, this is kind of a bounce back week. In a controlled environment against a poor defensive unit, lacks the ability to pressure the opposing quarterback. I think this is a perfect get-right spot for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I just don't think this one ends up being very close. I think this one can be maybe a little bit more. I think this should probably be closer to like 5.5, 6. So I don't think that's going to be too big of a problem for the Chiefs, but Vikings defensive line hasn't really gotten very much pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They're 4th worst in the league in pressuring the quarterback. Taylor Swift, by the way, won't be traveling to Minnesota, so we have that. going.
Yeah,
going.
she's not
Yay.
dumb.
So we won't have any distractions this week.
Hater.
No distractions this week.
Hater.
But like I said, controlled environment, poor defensive unit, can't pressure quarterbacks on the opposing side, fourth worst in that department. I think this is a get right spot for Kansas City. Which is weird to say, considering they've been winning games. But this is like, trying to get back right after maybe people have been questioning that last call in the last game, the holding.
DJ Moore. Nobody's even close.
And that is going to put this one pretty much away. That one's done.
Chris, just to be clear, we have DJ Moore as our number one wide receiver in our rankings, right?
Yes, we do. We do.
Thought so.
Yep. We'll get to that in a minute. I believe that's what we have. Touchdown for the Bears. That makes this after the extra point here shortly, we'll make it a 37-20 game, and the Bears should have, if anything stupid happens, anything stupid happens, the Bears should have their first win of the season. But my
is good.
My best bet of the week is Kansas City -3.5. I don't think this one stays close for the Vikings. Scotty?
Oh,
Yeah.
just watching the replay. You can't be that aggressive on the corner with a zero blitz.
You absolutely
Like, there's
can't.
nobody back there to help
no,
you. That's an
no.
all or nothing play.
That's a 3rd and 2. You have to be that aggressive, in fact, in order to force a.
But no, I was saying like
he
there
did
was
nothing wrong, man.
nobody behind him.
It
was like if
anything, he needs to have. If they get a first down, that's as almost as bad. He needs to have better ability to get his hand on the ball. If anything else, hand-eye coordination was the problem there.
I guess if this late in the game,
I had no issue with the coverage there, with the time and situation on the clock. So
Well, that game's over, says Hooker.
In the game,
The over
Just
hit in this one, hometown. 100%. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Chris,
I think she meant over as in
It's
there's
the
no
game.
chance
Oh,
it's
well,
bad.
that too.
It's over.
That too. We're at 57.
every once in a while I get a bad feeling about a Chiefs game.
Ooh, is this your bad feeling?
I don't have a good feeling this week. The last time I had a really bad feeling about a game was last year against Indianapolis. We went and lost outright, and Indy was terrible. You're right. Like, the offense should dominate for the Chiefs in this one. The Minnesota defense, what they love to do is blitz. Who can beat the blitz better than anybody? Patrick Mahomes.
Well, they're fourth worst at
dominates.
blitzing. They're fourth worst at getting to the quarterback, pressuring.
But they blitz a ton.
Yeah, true.
They blitz a ton. They just still don't get there because the guys are running open. They can't get any pressure with 4, so that's why they still try and bring extra pressure. I feel like this is a game where Casey's just gonna mess around, and Minnesota, I think, is gonna be able to get some points on the board offensively. Minnesota's a good offensive team, especially through the air with Kirk Cousins. Save he doesn't do stupid things. Like last week, he threw a pick 6 and he threw a pick deep in Carolina's territory, and they still won by 8. So they play close games. I know they're 1-3, but Minnesota could almost easily be 3-1 if things went their way differently a little bit. So I think Minnesota is a pretty average football team, probably better than 1-3, especially offensively. They're good. I just have a feeling this is going to come down to the wire for some reason. I don't know why, Chris. I just have that feeling. I don't want it to. I hope you're right. I hope Kansas City obliterates Minnesota this week. I really do. I don't know if it's going to happen. Kansas City.
You can't check it
especially
down on
offensively.
4th and 18.
You can when the game's already over.
this game's done. It's not even a thing.
No need to commentate on it anymore, Wreck. It's done.
Yeah, the turnover on downs, 2.5 to go. It's game.
Yeah, I'll be positive for you, Scotty. I'll be positive for you. I think this is going to be a nice dub for you boys. So don't stress too much about it. But again, the Vikings do like to play close games, and they're losing the close games this year as opposed to winning them. I think Chris Jones actually has a decent game today. This one too. So all right, we'll see. All right, Broncos and Jets. Broncos are favored in back-to-back weeks, Scotty, and this one before the season started, this was marked on the calendar for both teams, mainly the Jets, because of all the talk that Coach Sean Payton had in this preseason leading up to this week one. But based off of all the talk that's been happening, we didn't foresee the Aaron Rodgers thing happening 2 minutes into the game. So that's what changes the outcome and some of the lines in this one that most people thought would be a lot different. Right now, Denver are 2.5-point favorites, over under set at 43.5. Now, the Jets have a decent defense, pretty good defense, actually. And the Broncos have had a decent offense per drive and scoring drives. They're actually not faring too bad. Russell Wilson's throwing the ball and completing some touchdown passes, right? So the issue is the defense. The issue isn't necessarily as much on Russ as it is the defense. The defense is dog shit, Scotty. Denver Broncos released Randy Gregory to get younger because Nick Bonito's been outperforming him in the lineup here in Denver. So, I mean, rightfully so. The kid's playing out of his mind. He had a couple sacks over the last couple games, and he's been playing really, really well. But Randy Gregory sent packing, and here we are. We have a matchup with the Jets. Scotty, I don't even know. I don't even know what to expect from this team week to week. Last week with the Bears, the Broncos dug themselves a massive hole, ended up getting themselves out of it, and made a couple stops at the end of the game out of nowhere, which wasn't happening against the Bears team that they just shouldn't have given anything to. The Bears this week look a little bit better as well offensively, but still, you don't make a guy like Justin Fields, who was previous to that week almost out of the league practically, the way people are talking about him, and you make him have a career day. So I worry about the Broncos defense against a team like the Jets and this offense. Maybe they have a little bit of a hope, but still, I mean, again, I'm coming back to Justin Fields and the fact that he is not a good quarterback and he was able to do what he did. So you look at the other side, they have their own Wilson, Zach Wilson, who we'll see if he's able to put up anything against the Denver Broncos defense, which he should be able to. How much? We'll see. But Broncos favored -2.5 here, and they will be at home here in Denver.
I mean, Chris, everyone in Denver coming off a win, kind of excited, saying offense isn't the problem, the defense is the problem. That's obvious. The defense, Chris, according to DVOA, which is a stat I follow a lot, the Broncos defense through the first 4 weeks of the season, if they continue that through the whole season, would be the worst defense they've in the last 50 years of football. Chris, that's how bad.
Bruh.
That's how bad Denver's defense has been through 4 weeks. If Zach Wilson plays like he did last Sunday night, might be a long day for Denver's D again. They don't have a snap count on Breece, pitch count on Breece Hall. He might be able to run over. Everyone's been able to run over Denver's defense. Offensively, Denver has looked better this year. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, this is the first time they've played a defense that's even average thus far in the top half of the league as far as defensive metrics. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. Because I don't know what I'm getting from Zach Wilson, I think he's actually the biggest wild card in this one. If he plays like he did last week, this could actually be ugly. But if he plays like he's played every other week this season, I think, Denver not only has a chance, but could easily win this one. So I don't know, Chris. I don't know who's going to win this one, to be honest.
This is...
I do think, is Denver looking ahead to Thursday? Like, is there an impact when knowing you have to play Thursday night the following week? I don't know. Knowing you have to travel on the road, short week following that, does that impact you on Sunday? Probably depends on the team. I'm sure it's impacted teams, but maybe not this one. I don't know.
Is it weird? And I don't know. I don't know. What's the mindset? Do you take the potential win that is right in front of you with the Jets and just kind of like, we know we're probably not a better team than the Kansas City Chiefs, so why stress out about that one? Or is it to the point where it's like, that's our Super Bowl, beating the Chiefs and ending that streak? Is that the Super Bowl? Is that what you want to, which makes this a trap game for the Jets and the Broncos? I mean,
a couple months ago, this was the Super Bowl for the Broncos because
correct.
It was the whole Nathaniel Hackett thing and all of that. So, like, I don't think I think Denver wants to win this game. I don't know if there's ill will towards Hackett as far as the players go. Maybe there is, maybe there's not. I don't know. I mean, I've heard he's a player's coach now. Obviously, they were garbage last year with him, but I don't know if that they dislike him to the point that like maybe fans do. I think fans certainly dislike in Denver hate Hackett more than the players.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't know. This game will occur on Sunday, Chris.
It will occur. It's probably not going to be as fun as last week's Chicago-Denver game, but no. It's going to be probably an unwatchable game.
I would lean under in this one.
43.5 is a nice low number anyway. So, all right, there you go. Broncos, Jets. By the way, there was a play last week in Nathaniel Hackett, which I think some people were calling out on social media, where he was like, I think it was like a third down and short, and they had a close up of Nathaniel Hackett, and he called, I believe, like the wrong play or something because he thought it was first down, and then he realizes, after he calls in the play to the quarterback, Zach Wilson, that it's not first down and it's third and short. He's like, oh, fuck. Like, you could see him cuss on. And like, that's just perfect Nathaniel Hackett, you know? Like, I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. At least we have someone somewhat competent. All right, next up, Eagles and Rams. Philadelphia -4 on this matchup, visiting at LA, and the Rams. They got potentially the best wide receiver core in the NFL, Scotty, especially with Cooper Kupp potentially leaning towards maybe coming back soon, whether it's this week, maybe next week, who knows? He's part of that. He's been practicing recently. He's been coming slowly back here. By the way, end of the game officially 40-20. First win since October 24th for the Chicago Bears. October 24th, 2022 snaps the longest losing streak. There you go. Congratulations, Chicago. You have something to be excited about. Which I don't know if you're trying to get those top two picks. Better start
against Carolina on Sunday, I guess.
So there you go. That one is in the books. By the way, there's a lot of people streaming in the sports category. Maybe we'll get some love. Maybe we'll get some love in the sports category tonight. Eagles and Rams. Over under set at 49.5, Scotty. This is one of my best bets of the week. So I'll go ahead and get rolling on this one. I like Philadelphia -4 here. Philadelphia, we've talked a lot about. It just doesn't feel as good this year as it typically does, especially last year. And what we were expecting Philadelphia to be dominant-wise, they've kind of had some games where they haven't exactly looked great. Again, Washington last week, they didn't exactly look good. Went into overtime, ended up eking out a win there. But they remain undefeated despite the struggling with those teams, the bad penalties, avoidable mistakes. Rams defense isn't a major I think the Rams defense is at a disadvantage here on the ground. They rank 28th in defensive rush EPA. Philly is the best team in the NFL in terms of rushing success rates. I think that they have some advantages here when it comes to the running game, and they can control this a little bit more. I don't think the Rams' home environment is going to be as much of a home environment as much as, it's kind of one of those, I think the Eagles will be well represented from a fan base perspective. But overall, I think the better team is Philadelphia here. And regardless, I think they can cover this 4.5 here in this situation. And I think the trenches are where this is going to be won. I think the Eagles are going to be a little bit better there. I got the Eagles -4.
I'd lean the other way. It's not one of my bets of the week. I like the Rams here. Eagles, you're right, haven't looked that good. I think it's just a matter of time before the Eagles finally slip up and lose one of these games they're flirting around with and against inferior opponents. There's no doubt the Eagles are the better team here, but you get the lift of, I think Cooper Kupp's going to play this week to go along with Puka Nacua. The Rams, outside of that Monday night game against the Bengals, have looked really good offensively. You're probably right in the trenches. This is going to be a problem, but I just feel like this is the Rams' moment. I don't think Philly on the road against a Rams team that's looked pretty good should be a 4-point favorite with how they've played thus far. So I would lean Rams, but just a lean.
Yeah. Over under again set to 49.5, which means there's going to be some scoring in this one on both sides. But yeah, that I mean, it's going to be interesting. That Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. I mean, they got some receivers there, man. It's going to be interesting.
The S. Gutzwiller, Rams almost lost to the Colts last week. I can't. And the Eagles almost lost to the Washington team that just got blown out by Chicago at home. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What's worse?
Yeah, I actually had the Rams as one of my best bets this week at 4.5.
Never mind. I'm on the Eagles.
Never mind. I feel so much better about my pick, Scotty. If you want to ride it, hey, you could jump on board. Anytime Rec gives his picks of the week, it's like, man, it makes it easier.
Good info.
Good info. For me. But
Chris, where are you in the standings again?
Ooh.
I'm winning the jersey, by the way. I'm winning the jersey, baby. Woo! Let's go.
Is everyone else forfeiting?
We're getting, what is it?
No, he's winning the losers jersey.
Yes, sir. It's not easy to win the loser's jersey. Not easy at all.